So the next rumor that is out there, like we have two left that we're going to address. Sitting at number 2, you do have the New York Football Jets, the Jets, and the fireman dude or whatever he is. The Jets will draft Zach Wilson at number 2. This is the rumor that's circling around. What do you think?
I am not 100% sold on it yet. Again, I still think Justin Fields is the second best quarterback, even with the epilepsy. I thought he would probably slip a little bit more, but the more we talked about it, about NFL teams have done their homework. If it was that big of a concern, they would have been like, yeah, you're sliding down the board. And it would have been all over the news that
Right.
he's sliding down boards. And he's not. He is still considered right there as probably the second or the third best quarterback in this draft. So I'm not 100% sold that they are sold on Zach Wilson. They could do it because, again, trying to get somebody to trade up, overpay, do whatever.
Right.
I honestly think that they could take Justin Fields. My problem with that whole thing is I feel bad for whatever quarterback goes there because their career is just going to get ruined.
Yeah, and what else quarterback would have a solid career outside of New York would be Trevor Lawrence. I mean, he is going to be a bust anyways, but going to New York would make it that much faster. But I am not sold that the Jets are staying in that second overall pick, to be honest. Yes, there's been a lot of smoke and mirrors and stuff like that. Like we've been saying that over and over and over, like on this show. But the Jets need a whole lot more than just a quarterback, and like they can get a quarterback in the third, fourth, fifth round that might suit their needs. Sam Ellinger comes to mind. I think he can sit there and he can take the lumps for a year or two while the Jets are in complete rebuild mode. The Jets did draft that lineman last year from Louisville. What's his name?
Yeah, it's slipping me too. I know who
It's
you're talking
something
about.
B, but
Becton,
yeah,
Becton,
yeah,
Makai Becton.
yeah. So why not move out of that second pick? I don't know, move down to 6 or 7 or 8. There is that second lineman coming off of the board from Georgia. I believe he is from. Add
No,
that. What?
no, Northwestern, Rashawn Slaughter.
Yeah. Just add depth to that offensive line. Build your defensive up. Draft Sam Ellinger in the later rounds. You can even if Kyle Trask is like on the board still, you can draft him. Take your lumps for the next couple years. Take the not the Chicago Bears, but the Cleveland Browns blueprint over the last few years. Really build that team from the draft. Just kind of basically just like tank and just do it. I mean, you can't be much worse than what you were last year. So
Right, but at that point, the quarterback should be the last thing on your mind.
right,
You just said let him take his lumps. Do you know what happens when you take your lumps when you're a quarterback? You lose confidence. You get gun shy. You get happy feet. Guess what? That leads to interceptions. That leads to incompletions. That leads to
and
indecisiveness.
what does it lead to
You
the next
almost
year?
have to have it, nothing. The same thing if you don't have
No,
an
no, no,
offensive line in front of
no,
you.
no. It leads to a top pick, and then you find your quarterback.
But you just said let him take his lumps while they get good.
Well,
So
well, like, well,
why would you take a quarterback that high
I well,
if you weren't going to invest in the offensive line to protect him? That's a
y-
multi-million dollar
you are saying a
investment.
fourth, fifth, sixth round quarterback is an investment. I mean, that's kind of just
No,
like
your offensive line.
right. So, so I think we're saying the same thing, just like on different wording, basically. Like I say, draft Sam Ellinger just so you have a quarterback, a cheap quarterback back there that can win you 2 games a season and like keep you in those in the top 3 or 4 picks year in and like year out until you build that offensive line up and build that defensive up, and then you get your franchise
Okay, I
quarterback.
misunderstood. I was thinking you're saying let him stand back there, take his lumps as they build everything around him.
Oh no no no
And
no
I'm
no.
gonna be like, but no, because at the time they got competent, he's gonna be so battered and bruised. He's gonna have David Carr syndrome,
Right.
where he won't be able to make a decision because he's afraid he's gonna get smoked.
They will have their team built, and then they'll draft their franchise quarterback.
Yeah, And that literally that is the blueprint that you have to take if your team is that bad.
Yeah,
You have to build everything else on your team and put your quarterback in last,
and
whether it
the
be through the draft, trade, or free agency.
I don't see any bright side for the Jets at all. I mean, they're
I don't either.
the only
There,
bright side they have
it
is
is
they
a
have a new
long
they have a
dark
new
tunnel
coach.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the last rumor that I want to address before we head to our last break here and introduce shop talk. So if you guys want to talk about anything, let us know it here in the comment section below. We've been talking about trading out. We've been talking to trading out of the top 10 all week, and what teams can move up. The Dolphins have been taking calls all week about their number 6 overall pick. The rumor is that the Dolphins will trade out of that number 6 pick and get out of the first round. What do you thought on that?
I don't think so. I don't think they get out of the first round. Like I said, the big rumor is that they're really high on Waddle, which I could see he'd be a good slot receiver on that team. He would be a great number 3 receiver for that team. Um, Problem is do you really use a first round pick on a guy that you're looking at to be your number 3 receiver? You know,
True.
that's a big thing. But if it's like you got confidence in say Tua, and you're like, you know what, we got Will Fuller on one side, we got Devontae Parker on the other side. We could put Jalen Waddle in the slot and line up Jasecki as an extra offensive lineman, or split him wide as our wide tight end. You know, then maybe you do take him. Maybe it is a wise investment because it gives you another option. It gives you another threat on the field that can. There's no denying he's a home run threat. He can be a home run threat every time he touches the ball. And chances are, if he's playing in that slot position, he's playing against the nickel corner or the dime corner, whatever they're playing. And that's probably their third or fourth best corner. So I would, I could see it. I don't see them trading out of the first round. I could see them trading down in the first round, just not out.
Yeah, anytime a team moves up in the draft, we talked about the 49 and Niners moving up in the draft. They probably had their guy circled on their board months ago, and they figured that they had to move up to get their guy. And there's a reason why Miami moved back up into that 6th overall spot. They could have been happy at 12, but they traded with the Eagles to jump into that 6th overall spot. There is a reason why. You don't move up a spot to move back down into a spot. It just doesn't make sense. So I think the Miami Dolphins are going to be
But
perfectly happy. What? Go ahead.
yeah, but they did that already. They were at 3, they went back to 12 and came back up to 6.
Right. So that tells me that they have their guy circled, and they were not comfortable that he is going to fall to 12. So they had to move up to 6 to for that comfortable spot to basically get him. So I think they have their guys circled. You can say it is Waddle or Chase, or I don't think they go receiver. I think they go defensive side of the ball, to be honest. And I think they're happy at 6, and I think that's where they stay. Any closing thoughts?
I think that they stay put. I just don't think it's for the exact same reasons. I don't think they go defensive not that early. There's not that huge impact guy. Micah Parsons would be the closest thing to it. I don't think
Patrick
Micah Parsons is.
Patrick Surtain isn't a lockdown corner that can shut down
Well,
half the field.
Sertain could be, which the thing that would be nice with that is his dad. That's who his dad played for. So it would be kind of cool if the Dolphins drafted him as well. So
Interesting.